So Carl Edwards has recaptured the lead. Mears back to third. Here's our Napa Field summary. 7 different leaders, 6 of them are chasers. This is our 4th caution.
Only had 13 laps of caution so far, but in stock car racing, a lot of times cautions breed cautions.
Especially towards the end of the race.
Yeah, when all these cars get jammed up nose to tail with just a few laps to go, strange things happen.
Mike Skinner, the lone car, officially out of the race. There's Greg Biffle, runs 29th, 1 lap down. He has had a difficult day.
First of all, he had a tire loosen up, left rear tire. Leading the race, had to make an unscheduled pit stop.
Greg led 16 laps. Then, as Wally talked about, got loose coming off of 4. Saved it, lost it, saved it, and then lost it, but didn't hit anything.
And then that's trying to get by the 22 car. He and Scott Wimmer got together, and see the damage on the right side of the 16 car.
Field to pit road. We start with Dave.
Oh boy, Mark Martin wasn't sure he wanted to make this adjustment. The car went from neutral to just a little bit loose at the end. They will take a quarter round up on the left rear wedge. That'll make it a little bit looser. Mark thinks he can handle it. Matt?
Now, Casey Mears felt like he couldn't get in the gas when he needed to. You can already see the wedge wrench in the back window. They're going to adjust the chassis, and they're going to back up the air pressure adjustment they made on the previous stop. Snyder.
Battery 1 still hanging in there for Matt Kenseth on the bottom of your screen. Car too tight. Half pound out of the left rear, half pound to the right front, and up on the track bar. Alan.
Track bar adjustment, air pressure adjustment, 4 tire change for Carl Edwards. Let's see how well he gets out around the 8 car this time. He's going to lose a spot or 2 on pit road there.
Looks like 3 or 4.
Sure does.
Lost 4 spots.
Another good job by that 6 pit crew for Mark Martin.
See, Elliott Sadler gained a spot as Lance Hanna, the rear tire carrier, and Dave Smith combined for a good stop. We see Lance making that adjustment.
.38 bunch getting the job done for Elliott Sadler. Tonight, don't miss the big TV event everyone's talking about. The West Wing goes live. That's an all-new live episode of The West Wing tonight. 8 Eastern, 7 Central, only on NBC. The entire track now in the shade here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Casey Mears comes off pit road second to Mark Martin. We've introduced you to Mark's crew. Here are the guys getting it done for Casey Mears on pit road.
Jimmy Ellich, Redding, California.
Marty Forcier, Superior, Wisconsin.
Bobby Burrell, Hot Springs, Virginia.
Sean Pete, Nanaimo, British Columbia.
Alex Janchuk, Syracuse, New York.
Jason Sheets, Carmel, Indiana.
Les Huntley, Renwick, Iowa.
Eric Hoyle, Asheville, North Carolina.
Phil Horton, Lenoir, North Carolina.
Casey Mears behind Mark Martin. Let's check on pit road with Marty.
Well, Matt Kenseth currently in 7th, and Robbie Reiser, how's that one battery holding out?
Well, we got another battery in the car, so we should be all right, I would think. You know, we haven't even used the second battery yet, so we should be able to get there.
And I know turning off the fan to certainly change the handling of the car, too. It's made Matt's car tighter. Alan?
Championship leader Tony Stewart's crew chief is Greg Zipadelli. Greg, you've slipped back here in this middle part of the race. What's Tony saying about your car?
It started out real tight, so we kind of aggressively adjust on it, and then we must have went overboard, or I'm not really sure. That first set of tires we put on was a little tight because it's free, so we've kind of gone back to basically where we started. We got a little better there. It was just too free to take off, so we're kind of trying to marry the 2 setups where we started and some of the adjustments, and hopefully we'll get this Home Depot Chevrolet back up there. It's not far off. It's just there's a lot of good race cars out there now.
All right, thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Alan. There you see how the chasers are doing today. Mark Martin, the race leader.
And now that the racetrack is completely in the shade, things are going to change.
Had Casey Kane and Mike Skinner, 2 drivers out of the race. Finished for the day. Mark Martin won here in 98, takes them to the green flag on the restart.
See if Casey Mears' car is any better now on a restart, if they've adjusted for it, or like
we said earlier, look, his car takes a few laps. And he's going to get some pressure right away. It looks like Vickers in that 25 car.
Well, Vickers came off turn 2, looked to be much faster than Mir. He's on the inside trying to take that second spot away.
Vickers on the inside.
And we've seen that be trouble a couple of times today. Matt, how about that 25? What are they saying?
Well, BP, remember, we told you earlier he could not wait for the sun to go down completely because he felt like down in turns 1 and 2 where there was shade earlier in the race, that's where his car worked the best. And think back to the Lowe's Motor Speedway in May. He won the All-Star Challenge Open event in darkness, a similar layout. This team really wants to go out of 2005 with a victory and complete the cycle at Hendrick, getting all the cars in victory lane for owner Rick Hendrick.
I'll tell you what, that time by, he was faster than the leader, Mark Martin. Tony Edwards has gone by. Denny Hamlin taking over a spot. Didn't he?
Yeah, I think he made up a driver, though.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, Tony Edwards. In there.
Oh, there you go. I meant Tony Stewart.
I knew what you meant. A lot of them out there. On board with Joe Nemechek. Here's Edwards.
And yep, here's his slipping back a little bit.
Once again, just can't get started on the restarts.
And he started second, and he's already a second and a half behind Mark Martin. And that's the thing. You're losing so much ground to the leader. It's hard. It takes such a long time to make it up.
But when he gets going.
When he gets going, he flies. But he needs it to stay green a long time.
Mir's already 1.8 seconds now behind Mark Martin.
And when this sun goes and cools this racetrack off, since the green flag, Mark Martin, Brian Vickers have all run. Carl Edwards, they've all run their fastest lap of the day.
You heard Carl thank his mom. If you were with us earlier, before they went green to start the race. That's his mother, Nancy Sterling. Carl talks about how she's been the biggest influence, the biggest supporter of his career. 3 wins this year for Carl. Comes in off the win at Atlanta. These guys are in a wad.
Yeah, this is one of those places I was talking about earlier. You got to give a guy a lot of space in between your car and his car when you go through the corners, or the car on the bottom gets very loose. Like, see how the 17 is down on the 11? That'll make the 11 loose. And now the 17 trips up the racetrack. But
Denny Hamlin trying to take that spot away from Kenseth. That's a battle for 6th.
Kenseth has clinched the 5 points for leading the most laps here today. Matt has led 149 laps.
Marty, the 17 doesn't look to be as fast as he was a moment ago.
Yeah, I think BP, they're losing a little bit of speed. He turned off those bead blowers, which are cooling the tires, and that made the car tighter for Matt. They made several changes on the last stop. Half a pound out of the left rear tire, half a pound out of the right front tire, and 3/4 of a round up on the track bar. And Matt said the track is changing, and he told Robbie Reiser that's not necessarily good for us. Track getting tighter. That's not what Matt wants.
Nobody knows exactly what this track is going to do because we've never raced here at this time of day.
He talking to the crew chief this morning, said, okay, when the sun goes down, is the car going to get tighter? Well, I think so. You go to the next one? He said, no, I think you'll get looser because the front tire will then start to grip better and the back end will come around. So you're right, Bill. No one really knows exactly what's going to happen.
And like Alan said earlier, that Zipadelli was saying, he didn't think it was going to change at all. There's all different kinds of theories out there.
Alan, you want to jump in here?
And I heard another whole theory altogether, Bill, which is that when the sun went down, whatever your car was doing would be exaggerated. If the front tires were gripping better than the back end would just get worse. If the back was better than the front, the push would just get worse. Nobody knows what to expect here. Dave?
Alan, did you say exaggerated or exacerbated? Okay.
That was exaggerated, Dave.
Okay, I'll say exacerbated, and that's what can happen. Obviously, Mark Martin's crew has decided that the track will tighten up. Remember, Mark was a little bit leery of going looser on the car, but since the restart, with clean air on the front of that car, it's not been too loose to handle. So they're in the right position right now, according to the way they're playing the Texas Motor Speedway as it goes to twilight.
Here comes Brian Vickers.
And right behind him, here comes that 99 car of Carl Edwards.
Mark Martin has led 26 laps.
Vickers does look pretty strong right now. Working a little bit different line than Mark Martin is, and it's working for him because he's making up a lot of ground, especially getting off of turn 2 and 4. Seems like the 25's got a pretty good run.
See how hard Mark makes him work for the pass.
I bet it won't be too hard.
74 to go.
Still got a lot of race yet.
If this thing goes green, just one more pit stop.
Here's where Vickers is strong, right here.
Looks like that's where he's going to take the lead.
Mark Martin falls in behind him, so Brian Vickers in search of his first NEXTEL Cup Series win. Around championship contender Mark Martin to the lead. First lap led for Vickers today. 6 of the 10 chasers have led today. We talked about how Matt has clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. Carl Edwards in the 99 Office Depot Ford around Mark Martin to second.
And he's about 0.2 of a second per lap faster than Vickers. Talking about Carl Edwards in the 99.
Edwards has led 45 laps today. And now he starts to close in on the 25 of Brian Vickers. Vickers, Edwards, Mark Martin, Casey Mears, Tony Stewart. The top 5 at Texas with 71 to go.